I chose to do my hot topic presentation on flipped classrooms, and I did this because in class 11 I researched flipped classrooms and I decided I wanted to go more in depth. I wanted to figure out not just what they were and how they worked, but what subjects were most used for this. Was it a language class? Is it effective in a language class? Is it effective with sciences and math or literature? So I wanted to delve into that. And I also wanted to know if it is effective or more effective than regular classrooms, and if it's worth the switch. I also wanted to see more of the downfalls because when I focused on it earlier, I only saw positive aspects. And then I wanted to know what kinds of flipped classrooms there are, if there are different levels of flipped classrooms. And so that is what I chose to research. So what exactly are flipped classrooms? Flipped classrooms are a way where the teachers will either use a video instructing and teaching a lesson, or they'll create a video outside of class and they will post it online for the students to watch at home. So instead of doing homework at home, the students will learn outside of home through the video. They will go to class and work on problem sets, and then they will continue this process until the exams, and they can refer back to the videos whenever they need to relearn the material and clarify anything that would need clarifying. A great benefit for the flipped classroom model is that students can work at their own pace. This is very true, especially with the mastery-based model that some teachers use. Deb Wolf, a teacher in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, uses this technique, although instead of just giving her students the equipment they need and general guidelines, she creates a few deadlines to keep them on track. She says that for some students who have not been challenged in classroom, this is an opportunity for them to just fly. And for others, it is an opportunity to take the time they need to move slower. This creates a lenient environment so that the student knows that they can either work ahead or work at their own pace to successfully master the information. Also, another great benefit is that there's more classroom time for teachers to help students with problem sets and labs. This was one of the main intentions by some of the creators, Mr. Bergman and Mr. Sams, and they have said as well, like, what's the best use of your face-to-face instruction time? Do you want to spend it working and teaching from a chalkboard or whiteboard, or do you want to be helping the students so that they can fully understand the material? So that's another benefit of the flipped classroom method. A third great benefit is that students can catch up on missed classes if they missed for athletic reasons, family reasons, or any other sort of reason like illness. And that way they don't have to fall behind. And if they fall behind, it's easier to catch up in class by working with teachers with the dedicated class time. There are also some major downfalls. For one, varying online access and computer technology or internet failure can cause for a lesson to be ineffective. That way when students arrive in class, they still won't know what they're supposed to know. It's also not effective at all if students don't watch the videos. They come to class knowing as much as they did if they were going to be lectured in class that day, and they're expected to do problem sets. So the teacher's going to spend more time in class lecturing to them again because they chose not to watch the lectures online. It also doesn't make a bad teacher any better. Teachers still need to have the aspect of helping and being good at explaining things in order for this to work. And they have to give their classroom time to the students. It also doesn't allow for deviation, and it isn't how all people learn. For example, a teacher in San Francisco didn't see any change in his students after he did this because most of them weren't watching the lectures, or they would, but they weren't getting anything out of it. So he went back and deviated on what videos to give them and how to give them to them to give his students the information they needed in a different format. Also, another critic from California talks about how that's not how all people learn. Just because you flipped your classrooms doesn't mean your students will watch the videos. How are you engaging your kids? How are you going to get through to them? And that everyone initially thought that flipping was an innovative way to teach because we're so rooted in the idea that students don't like homework. However, when you step back a little bit, what you're looking at is simply a time-shifting tool. So in reality, according to Mr. Miller, all you're doing is taking the same old lecture-based philosophy and putting it online and switching the time around of when you're lecturing. So are flipped classrooms really all that great? Good teachers are going to make the lesson and the lecture good anyways, and students are going to learn. And in some classrooms it works really well, and with some subjects such as math and science, it is more beneficial. However, it's still a work in progress, and it's going to take some working out the kinks to get to a level where the majority of students learn. An idea that was had by some teachers that got together to discuss flipped classrooms is that maybe they should offer flipped classrooms for students that want to learn that way, but then give them options in the same time frames to take a regular instructional class. So, do flipped classrooms have a future in our education system? I think that when the technology is developed more and the kinks have been worked out, they'll be used in certain subject matters. However, it's not for everyone, and it's not for all students or all teachers. Teachers have to decide to educate on a way that works for them, where they can reach the kids. I do, however, see a lot of potential in tutoring online subjects. There has been a variety of tutorial videos made on various academic subjects by a man named Salman Khan, known as the Khan Academy. And I think this is a very interesting touch on the flipped classroom technique. And this is a way that teachers can get through to their students and offer them extra help through the same types of videos, but the students can choose whether or not to watch it, and they still get their lecture and time in class with the teacher. So that's all you need to know for now about this trending educational technology that's quickly become a hot topic. Thanks for checking it out, guys.